everybody, it's Carm here, coming to you on the first day of autumn here. My personal favorite time of year, although today definitely feels more summery. I'm already starting to sweat since I came out here. A beautiful sunny day, and I felt like coming out and doing a video. I want to show some of the earliest music I have in my collection, also on the earliest format I ever bought music on, cassettes. I was going in the comments recently back and forth with Colin a while back and Adam Lee, 87 channel, about cassettes, and it got me thinking I haven't shown it in a while. I did a one on New Age music a while back. It was on the Valley of the Sun label, and this one's also going to feature another record label, Hearts of Space, which grew out of the radio show Music from the Hearts of Space, Stephen Hill's show. Started in the 70s in the Bay Area and went national in 83, I believe. And I think he started the label around 80 or 81. And this is the first album, to my knowledge, on the label, Lullaby for the Hearts of Space, from Kevin Braheny. Really nice analog synthesizer with soprano sax. At times sort of sounds like an early Electronic University record, but also it's like a bridge between that early stuff and the sequencer-based space music, which some of the label became known for. I believe this is actually recorded on the show itself, for a broadcast. So yeah, great intro, great for stargazing and inner contemplation. Really nice. It's another album by him, Galaxies. Actually written for the a planetarium show, and I actually bought this at the Adler Planetarium with my friends. Back it was in early 1991. Yeah, more deep space synthesizer with other woodwinds, a little more digital and a little more tones and colors on this one. But again, very nice for stargazing, perfect night music. This next one I think I've showed before, or maybe played some in the background. H.O.S, Purple Sails. It's a Japanese electronic musician. Well, I don't know if she's made many albums since. This is from 1989. You could hear like electronic kodo, wonderful synth washes. It's at times it's pastoral, sometimes it sounds tropical, or even like you could even hear, see like the desert. Just a lot of landscapes are conjured up in this music, and I definitely recommend this. If you see it around, you found them pretty cheap. Got quite a few here, so I'm trying to go through them kind of quick. One of my all-time favorite artists, Constance Denby, Sacred Space Music from 1982. Wonderful, spiritually uplifting, devotional, acoustic and electronic synthesizers and hammered dulcimer. Her music is so powerful. A lot of times it brings tears to your eyes. It's just very, just very emotional and very soothing. Very good representation of her. This next one by her is considered a classic, or her all-time classic, Novus Magnificat Through the Stargate. It's from 1986. This is more like an orchestral realm, more digital synthesizers, a lot of string sounds and samplers. But very beautiful, again, very devotional in nature. I believe I got this at the planetarium too. I think my friend bought this or the other one, and we traded tapes, or then she ended up giving me both of them. I don't quite remember, but yeah, just another early classic. And I think might have been the label's first like really big seller, to my knowledge. And this third one by her, Set Free. It's from 1989. There's a lot of, again, electronic and acoustic. Probably her most eclectic album that I've heard on the label, at least. There's Balinese gamelan sounds. There's very romantic pieces. Waltz of Joy is one of my favorites. Traditional space music, so sort of like the droning, shimmering type stuff. This would be a good introduction if you want to hear like the various sides of her. But and it's really kind of indicative of the label in general, because it is a pretty eclectic label. Next year is one of my all-time favorites, and it was an introduction to both of these artists. Strata by Robert Rich and Steve Roach. Again, we talk about bridging the gap between certain. This is very electronic, but also very kind of a tribal, primordial feel to it, almost like you're going underground. Well, like Strata, it'd be like a soundtrack to an earth science course, perhaps, or a metaphor for going through those various layers. Very powerful stuff, and two of my favorite musicians in general. Early collaboration of theirs. Couldn't recommend it highly enough. This one's from 1990. Next, Nick Tindall, Lagoon. Probably better known for being on the Sky Records label. I think this is his only Hearts of Space. I think I may have showed this a while back. Very organic for being as digital as it is. Conjures up like a tropical landscape, but definitely like a parallel universe, alien landscape. Very nice, shimmering, almost like you're hearing the music through glass, but very, very clearly. Very powerful stuff. This next one might be a good introduction to the label if you're coming from a more mainstream, this could be considered almost synth pop. Steve McDonald, Spinfield. I believe he's from New Zealand. And this has a really nice, it's very upbeat, but also has its contemplative pieces. You see very 80s there with the guitar. Adam, if you're watching. I think this is from 89. Yeah, this would be a good introduction if you're maybe a little wary of this kind of stuff, but want to know where to start. And always like this cover. This next one here, Jewel Lake, Bill Douglas. He's a multi-instrumentalist, synthesist, also plays bassoon. There's also oboe and other acoustic instruments. This is more in a chamberish vein. A little noisy here today, but I don't know if you can hear it playing in the background. This is actually a piece from this album, off of a sampler. There he is there. His music is very Celtic inspired, but you could also hear like devotional, like choral music. Very melodic and beautiful stuff. This one's from 1988. This would be a good introduction to his music in general. He's still around today making music in a similar vein, from what I understand. Another one of my all-time favorite artists, Brother Chris, John Coltrane 68, just showed an album, Lyra, which I'm a little envious you found that, but I'm really happy for you. Encounter from 1988. I think this came after Lyra and a lot of his earlier analog albums. It's probably more in a digital vein, but I have to show this inside cover. It's very cool. This one I've had since the early days. Actually, most of these I've had since the very early 90s. I love this, the sort of the mothership coming through there. Again, deep space nocturnal music, stargazing. This one's fairly dark, but not in a negative way, but definitely more for inner, deeper contemplation. But also you can just, you could imagine being out in the desert and stargazing with this one. Very, very nice stuff. And finally here, this is what I have playing in the background. Not sure how well it can be heard. Universe Sampler 90, an overview of the label, of much of what Hearts of Space did throughout the 80s and very early 90s. And all these albums that I've showed are, I believe every single one of them, except the first one, the Bikini one, is featured on this. Those are the various albums on there. I love this picture too. Yeah, and this is one of the earliest ones I picked up, and again, eventually found all these albums on my own. But, yeah, this would be a great introduction to the label in general, especially the music that was being done about roughly 25 years ago. And the Spinfield, if you're curious, if you're coming from a more pop perspective. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and show these, and I'll vibe a little bit with 80s friends and people who are interested in cassettes in general. I still listen to this format to this day after all this time, and if I find any, I pick them up. So yeah, it's pretty nice stuff. So yeah, again, Hearts of Space. I'll leave a link to the website. You can check out other albums on the label and the radio show, which it's on public radio still, and hopefully it'll be in your area. So yeah, well, till next time. Just wanted to show some of these. Should have a little more time to do videos next month. And till next time, peace, love, and joy.